In this video, we're going to talk about solving quadratic equations by factoring. Now, we've already talked about factoring, so all we're going to do in this video is just add the idea of solving to the factoring that we've already done. All right, let's look at an example. So you guys can see I have a quadratic equation right here, only this time there's an equal sign. Anytime there's an equal sign, we have to solve. And you know, when you solve, you have to have a variable equal to a number at the end. So just doing the parentheses is not going to be enough on this one. We have to solve and get x equals whatever x happens to equal. Okay, so let's go through our process to solve this equation. So the first thing I want to do is I want to identify A, B, and C, because it's a quadratic, and so I know I'm going to have to factor. So A is 3, B is -7, C is -20. Okay, now I'm going to multiply A and C together. A is 3, C is -20. When I multiply those together, I get -60. So I want to see if I can come up with two numbers that multiply together to be -60 and add together to be -7. Remember, we're adding to be B, multiplying to be this. Okay, so I'm going to run through some of my things that multiply to be 60. So we got like 6 and 10. Well, that doesn't work. 3 and 20, that's right here. That doesn't work. Let's try 5 and 12. All right, 5 and 12. In order for this to be a -7, the biggest one has to be negative. So I've got -12 there. All right, and now let's replace those. Remember, we replaced the B term. So the A term stays the same. And I'm going to replace that -7 in the middle with +5 and -20. All right, and then I'm going to cut it in half, do the GCF of both pieces. So 3 and 5, the GCF of those is 1. And so then I look at my variables. They both have an x. And you guys remember from the last video, you always pick the smallest exponent. So if I factor an x out of both of those, I'm going to divide, which means my exponent is going to go down by 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Remember, you subtract when you divide with exponents. 1 minus 1 is 0. That's why there's no x here. All right, now I'm going to look at these. And I notice right away that the signs here are both negative and the signs here are both positive. So in order for it to match, I'm going to have to change my sign. I'm going to have a negative on my GCF. And the biggest number that'll go into 12 and 20 is 4. This time I'm not going to have an x because I have an x here, but not here. So it's not common. I can't put it in my GCF. All right, I'm going to divide. -12 divided by -4, +3. Bring down that x. -20 divided by -4, +5. And that equals 0 is just out there on the end. It's not really affecting anything yet. It's just there. All right, so I've got 3x plus 5 in both places. So that's good. They match. So 3x plus 5 is one of my factors. And the other factor is what's on the outside here, x and -4. So I've got x minus 4. Okay, now probably from Algebra 2, you guys talked about the zero product property. If I have two things multiplied together to equal 0, then either the first one equals 0 or the second one has to equal 0. So I set each of those equal to 0. I'm going to solve those by doing the opposite operation. Divide by 3 here. All right, so on this one, I'm a little bit out of space. X equals -5/3. Now on this one, I'm going to add 4 on both sides. X equals 4. So I get two answers. -5/3 is one of my answers, and 4 is the other one. All right, when my exponent is a 2 right here, that tells me I should get two answers, and I did. 1, 2. Okay, so then the question is, what exactly did we find? Like, we have these two answers, but what are they? Okay, so let's look at the graph. If we look at a graph of the polynomial 3x squared minus 20x, that's this purple one. And then if we look at 0, that would be the x-axis right here. So where they're equal to each other is where they cross, which is this dot and this dot. All right, I'm looking at the x values because I have x's in my equation. And look what I have right here. This x value corresponds to -5/3, which was one of our answers. And this x value corresponds to 4, which is the other one of our answers. So basically what I'm finding when my quadratic is equal to 0, I'm finding the x-intercepts. You guys might remember that from what you did in Algebra 2, finding the x-intercepts. Okay, but what if it isn't equal to 0? In this quadratic, 8x squared minus 10x equals 3. Well, in order to solve it, I have to be able to use the zero product property. Can't use the zero product property if there's no 0. So the first thing I need to do is I need to make this a 0. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. All right, those cancel out and become a 0. And you can see over here on the left-hand side, I do not have any like terms. So I'm going to write all of those down. 8x squared minus 10x minus 3. And that's our regular standard form of a quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c. And so now I'm ready to factor. Okay, so let's see what we can do. First thing we want to do when we factor, obviously, is look for a GCF. In this case, there's no GCF of all of them. So I'm going to do a, b, and c. So a equals, b equals, c equals. All right, a is 8. All right, it's the one on the x squared. B is negative 10. C is negative 3. A times C, 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. Okay, so now think about what I want my two numbers to do. I want them to multiply to be negative 24, and I want them to add to be negative 10. Always multiply to be this one and add to be B. Okay, so let's go through our times tables for 24. So I've got 6 and 4. Well, 6 and 4 add up to be 10, but look, this is a negative 24, which means either my 6 or my 4 would have to be negative. So negative 6 plus 4, that's negative 2. Positive 6 and negative 4, that's positive 2. Neither one of those is going to give me the 10. Okay, so let's keep thinking. How about 8 and 3? Nope, that doesn't work either. That doesn't give me a 10. 12 and 2. Oh, that'll work. Negative 12 and positive 2. That's going to give me the negative 10. The larger sign has to match. So negative 12, positive 10. I'm sorry, negative 12 and positive 2 making negative 10. Okay, so when we substitute, remember what we substitute for is this term in the middle, always the b term. So 8x squared minus 12x plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. So the a term doesn't change, the c term doesn't change, and the equal to 0 part doesn't change either. All right, let's cut that in half and do the GCF. GCF of 8 and 12, largest number that'll go into both of those is 4. And I can see they both have an x. I'm going to pick my smallest exponent, and then I'm going to divide. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Remember, when I divide with variables, I subtract the exponents. 2 minus 1 is 1. So I have 1x right there. 12 divided by 4, negative 12 divided by 4, negative 3. And x to the first, 1 minus 1 is 0, so there's no x. Okay, sometimes this one throws people off. Look at that one. What's the GCF of 2 and 3, or 2 and negative 3? It's 1. There's always a GCF. Sometimes the GCF happens to be 1. And you guys know when you divide by 1, nothing changes. All right, what I have in the parentheses matches. That's what I wanted. So I'm going to bring that down. And then I'm going to put in the other parentheses, what's on the outside, 4x plus 1 equals 0. All right, now I can use my zero product property because I have two things multiplied together to be 0. So that means either the first one equals 0 or the second one equals 0. Do the opposite operation to solve on both of these. I'm going to try to write a little bit smaller so I don't run out of space. I may or may not be successful. I'm just doing the opposite operation here to solve. So I get 3 halves on that one. And let's do the same thing here. Do the opposite operation to solve those linear equations. All right, and I've got this. So my two answers, x equals 3 halves, x equals negative 1/4. Again, I had an exponent of 2 here, which tells me I should have 2 answers, and I do. And the reason I knew not to stop at this point, the reason I knew this was not the correct answer, is because what we're doing today is solving. And so when I see the word solve, I know I need to have x equals as my answer. Okay, so let's see what we found. Let's look at a graph. So this time I didn't have it equal to 0. This time I had 8x squared minus 10 equals to 3. So here's the horizontal line, y equals 3. And the purple is that quadratic, 8x squared minus 10x. And look what we have right here, where they cross the x value, negative 0.25. Well, that's the negative 1/4 that we found. And positive 1.5 right here, that's the positive 3/2 that we found. You can't really see the fraction bar very well, but there it is. So again, what we found is the x values of where these two things cross. And I'm focusing on the x values because I have x's in my question. So I'm focusing on the x values here. All right, let's do one more. Okay, so this time, again, it's not equal to 0. Not going to be able to use my 0 product property unless I make it equal to 0. So I'm going to need to subtract 5x from both sides and also subtract 1. I got to get rid of both of those. So this time I do have some like terms. I'll line up my like terms. Over here, negative 5x and positive 5x cancel. Same thing with negative 1 and 1. So I get 0, which is what I wanted. So I can use the 0 product property. All right, and let's see what I get over here. So 9x squared, no like terms there. Positive 5x, negative 5x cancel out. And you can go ahead and put that 0x in there if you want to. That's going to help with your factoring. Minus 4. Okay, so I have a quadratic, because I have a squared right there. I have a quadratic equal to 0. All right, let's do ABC. A equals, B equals, C equals. So A, that's the coefficient here. B, that's the coefficient here. And C, that's the constant right here. Don't forget the negative. All right, AC, 9 times negative 4 is negative 36. All right, so I want two numbers that multiply together to be negative 36 and add together to be 0. Well, in order for them to be 0, they have to be opposites of one another. So what are two numbers that are opposites of one another that multiply to be negative 36? Negative 6 and positive 6. All right, so let's come over here and let's replace. Should we replace the A term, the B term, or the C term? Right, we're always going to replace the B term. All right, so let's substitute that in there. All right, the two numbers that we found were negative 6 and positive 6, and negative 6 plus 6 equals 0, so we didn't change the value at all, we just rearranged it. All right, cut it in half. The GCF of these two, GCF of 9 and 6 is 3, and I have x to the first because I'm going to pick the smallest exponent, and now I'm going to divide. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And I subtract my exponents. 2 minus 1 is 1. Negative 6 divided by 3, negative 2. And there's no x because it cancels out. All right, 6x minus 4. The GCF of 6 and negative 4 is 2. I don't need a negative this time because, look, I have a positive and then a negative, and I want a positive and then a negative. So they'll match. So everything is good. And now I'll subtract 6. I'm not subtract, divide. I'll divide 6 divided by 2 is 3. Bring down the x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Remember that equals 0 just stays over there on the end. What's in the parentheses is the same. So that's going to be my first one. And then what's outside the parentheses is the second one. In this case, 3x plus 2. Okay, did you notice up at the beginning here that 9x squared is a perfect square number? Also, 4 is a perfect square number. So we could have used our difference of squares formula if we had remembered. And if you do remember on a test or on a quiz, that's totally fine. You can go from here straight to here if you recognize it as difference of squares. All right, we're going to set both of those equal to 0. Do the opposite operation to solve both of them, trying to get x by itself. So x equals positive 2/3 on this side. And when I do the opposite operation on this side, because the numbers were the same, just the opposite signs, I'm going to end up with the opposite. I'm going to have negative 2/3. Can't really see my negative right there. So there we go. There's our two solutions, right? Exponent of 2 tells me I have two solutions, positive 2/3 and negative 2/3. And if you look at our graph, you can see that those are the two answers that I got. Those are the two dots, positive and negative.